The wrist presence of this 46 millimeter, maybe 47 millimeter Seiko tuna is just breathtaking. I think I'll have to wear this today. Hey, we're not talking about wrist presence. We're not talking about you. We're talking about a very important principle about selling watches and the type of people who buy watches, especially when a watch isn't performing well. You know, when I sell watches, and I am part of a watch community that is cycling in watches and cycling out watches, buying and selling, trading. What happens is there is a particular type of watch that for some reason doesn't perform well. You put it on eBay and you have it at a price and no one bids on it, and yet you see like 15 people are looking at it and they're waiting for you to go lower and lower and lower. And when it comes to selling watches, of course money is part of it. You don't want to take too much of a beating when you sell a watch. But there's something that goes deeper than that. At the end of the day, as a human being and you're selling watches and you're a sensitive watch obsessive, it's beyond the money. It's about a principle. And I'm going to explain the principle of why there's a certain point where you cannot sell your watches at too cheap of a price. Let me get a sip of water here. I'm very emotional about this. There was, about a month ago, huge viral uproar about a dentist, I believe from Minnesota. He went to Zimbabwe, South Africa, and he hired a team of hunters to help him shoot Cecil, the beloved lion of South Africa. I think they dragged a dead antelope to lure the lion out. And then, this dentist, he had an easy shot. And then he does this like trophy photograph next to the dead lion. And that photograph really represented the lowest in human nature, the lowest in masculinity. Whatever defines your masculinity was misguided at best in that photograph. What we saw in that photograph was aggression. We saw cruelty. And we saw self-aggrandizement or vanity, the lowest that a man has to offer. It was as if he had to prey on a vulnerable animal, and he had all the ammunition, and he was just able to. But he wanted to paint himself as this strong, courageous human being. It was complete farce, complete image. It was heinous, and my God, I think he drew so much wrath from the international community. Unbelievable. Obviously I don't want him to get hurt. I don't want his family to get hurt, but I can understand the impulse of the world to react to him the way they did. So what does that have to do with selling watches on eBay? You put a watch for sale, and sometimes the watch is healthy. People bid on it, and you get a higher bid on it. You're pleased. You feel good. But you don't only feel good about the money, you feel good on principle. What I mean to say is, if you go back to South Africa, and I watch a lot of National Geo shows, if a watch doesn't perform well, it's like a water buffalo with a limp. If no one bids on that watch for the first week at a price, even though you had 15 lookers, the vultures come out, and they can see that water buffalo is limping. The lions, their ears perk up, and they see injury, they see weakness. And so what happens is, you the seller, if you get desperate, if you feel weak, and you're just so desperate to sell your watch at a price lower and lower every week as the vultures wait to see when the price is just so delicious they can't resist, what you're doing is you're enabling the same impulse in that dentist. Because I think as a buyer, as a man, you don't just buy watches for the good deal to save money. Of course you do that. But on a deeper level, on a primitive level, you are a hunter and you are a predator. And when you can smell weakness and when you can take advantage of weakness, you're exercising that animal inside of you. And as a watch seller on eBay, if you go too cheap, you're enabling that base impulse in other people. So on principle, you should not be selling watches too cheaply. You should not be that limping water buffalo under the Serengeti as the vultures go across. Just get off eBay. Put that watch on your wrist. Force yourself to enjoy it. Be a watch ninja in that regard. I refuse to let people buy one of my watches and then post a video of it on YouTube and say, the great deal I got on this, the guy was desperate. You're just like that dentist posing in front of Cecil. I'm not going to let you do it. I'll let you get a good deal, but there's a line that can't be crossed. Once the watch becomes a limping water buffalo, no sale. That's how I feel about that. Look forward to your comments. Until next time, I am out.